There we go. Okay. Go ahead, Monique, you can kick us off.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, this is Karen. I just met Karen maybe not even a week ago. As you know, I've been seeking out companies that I can trust because of what's going on in this world. And I think it's very important that we choose who we choose to shop with and who we choose to trust with our bodies. And you might remember, I've been trying to remind you of when I started using Juice Plus when I was 18. I don't know why I did or did not, probably because I was young and didn't care at that time. But right now, it's very important, especially as an accountant. And you hear this story all the time from me. But as an accountant, I understand the first thing to compromise are the ingredients when we're trying to turn a profit for shareholders. And so I would never put myself in that position anyway, being the one who make those decisions for companies. But right now, what I as I was seeking out, I was introduced to it again by a lady at my church who I just met as well. And she reintroduced Melaleuca and Juice Plus. And her and I have a lot in common as far as health. We were at a prayer meeting. We just all started talking about inflammation and it just on and on and on. And then she told me she was Juice Plus and I asked her to reintroduce it. She explained a lot about it. And I've just been, as you know me, on these missions just to share good, healthy thoughts because what we just went through is the beginning of what we're going through. So I believe when people start making the right choices now, before they have to, it makes it a lot easier to make choices and be in control. So Karen has been gracious enough to share this presentation with us because this will be my second time looking at it. And I told her that you have always been health conscious, so you would be interested in listening to it as well. And I asked her to share about the towers at the end, the vegetable tower, because I told her that you have one as an end table. Is it my end table that you're using to grow vegetables? I believe it is, Karen. She may have herself on mute, but so with that said, I just thank you so much, Karen, for your time, because I know you're in Georgia and we're all trying to get the last part of this day. So I appreciate you so much for sharing your time with us.
Not a problem. I enjoy doing this. And honestly, this is the perfect example of helping one person at a time. You know, and sometimes that's what we do. Sometimes it's easier to just help one person at a time. And you will be able to share this recording with people as well. And I love that, you know, it was interesting because I've never thought of what you said as an accountant. And I know that companies have to share, you know, it's profits. Shareholders want profits. They don't care about if it's healthy and not, but I've never heard anybody actually say that. Like I knew that in my head, but nobody has ever said that out loud. So that's interesting.
Yeah, when it comes down to ingredients, it's always the top priority for most companies. But when it comes down to their profit and ingredient, they have to readjust. Just like some families do that. If the budget is not seeing it, they have to get generic. Well, that doesn't change when it comes down to, because the only reason why the corporations exist is because of shareholders, and they're not in it. But also, Karen, keep in mind that the shareholders are not eating their own product with product ingredients that's not.
Exactly. Yeah, they're probably taking Juice Plus or something else, but they're just making money off of that. So yeah, so I love that Monique gets all of it. It just makes my life so much fun when you partner with somebody who just, you know, they get it. They get the idea of nutrition and disease and fruits and vegetables. So I'm so excited to share this with you today. Okay, so our company aspires healthy living, and I'll be telling my story later on, but I did not always get and understand the link between nutrition and disease. So we are unhealthy. Let me make this a little smaller. So we, as a society and as Americans, we are unhealthy. 1 in 4 people will die of heart disease. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will develop cancer. 1 in 3 will have diabetes by 2050. 1 in 5 children is obese. I mean, perfect example, my neighbor across the street, right? Like there's three of us right here. So if you think of three people, and actually her brother just got diagnosed with brain cancer, and her son just had a biopsy of skin, and they don't know, they're waiting for that to come back and see if it's skin cancer. So it's just everywhere. If you think of women, like one out of three of us, like we're going to have cancer. It's really scary when you sit down and think about that. And then Dr. David Katz, in reference to children, he said, our children are more harmed by poor diet than by exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined.
Yes. Wow.
So environmental toxins are increasing, and a lot of this stuff we don't have control over. So I love the fact that Monique has understood this, and she's helping with some of the products that she's sharing, with another company. So we have control over some of our skincare and our hair care and deodorant and toothpaste and things like that. But when we go outside, we don't always have control over that. We don't have control over what's in the environment and stuff. So, we kind of take control of what we can, and then some of the stuff we just can't. But the environmental toxins in our body do damage for inside our body. So that's why you hear people talk about doing a detox. And even flooding our body with fruits and vegetables helps to detox your body. So let's talk a little bit more about food. Food quality is decreasing. And actually the statistics is, I just looked it up for another presentation, more than 57% of what Americans eating is processed. So that's more than half of what we're eating every day is processed foods. And I know I don't eat perfectly, but I sure do eat way better than I used to. So if you take a look at a list of all the stuff, when you look at an ingredient, it should, fruits and vegetables don't have ingredients. You look at a bag of apples, you look at carrots, you're not looking for, oh, what's in a carrot? What's in an apple? We know what it is. It's an apple, it's carrot, it's broccoli. Nobody's looking to see if there's artificial colors and trans fats, because there's not. God gave us food, and God gave us fruits and vegetables, and there isn't a label. So we really should be trying to eat most foods that don't have labels, or if they do have labels, there's very few ingredients, like beans, like rice, different things like that. So shopping the perimeter of the store is the best, and then kind of just tiptoeing into a certain aisles to get some of the healthier foods. And then broccoli, we'll talk about the nutrition in our produce. Also, broccoli could lose 50 to 80% of key nutrients before we even purchase it. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Oxidative stress and antioxidants. So I don't know about you guys, but I always heard the buzzword antioxidants, but I never really knew exactly what that meant. So oxidative stress is something that's going on inside of our body right now and every single day. And oxidative stress causes something called free radicals. And free radicals, if you imagine your cell, right? Imagine this is a cell, and a free radical just like bam, 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 just beating up a cell all day long, and to try and damage it. And so when they damage it, that cell becomes unhealthy. And the more unhealthy cells you have, it's aging, it's disease, and if you have more unhealthy cells than healthy cells, you're dying. And so we want to keep ourselves as strong and as healthy as possible. And how we combat the oxidative stress is through antioxidants. And antioxidants are found in fruits and vegetables. So a great example is this picture with an apple. If you look at that and you look at the brown side, we've all eaten an apple or a banana or produce or something where you take a bite out of it and maybe you get busy, you let it sit there, and all of a sudden you see that it's turning brown. Avocado is a great one. If you put a little bit of lemon juice on that, it slows down the browning. It slows down the oxidative stress. And so when we eat fruits and vegetables, it does the same thing inside of our body. It would be great to be able to stop it and then live forever, but that's not possible. So the best we can do is to slow that down. So we need 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. 7 is for kids, 9 is for women, and 13 is for men. And there's some days I crush this and I do great. And there's other days where I think, I'm not even sure if I had 7, which is recommended for a kid. And athletes need to eat even more. They need to eat 18 to 20 servings every single day. And why? So produce is picked before the nutrition is fully developed. So if you think about, it's got to be transported, which is another one of the things. Produce is transported sometimes thousands of miles. If you look at the berries, they come in from Mexico. The Florida oranges, ironically, end up going to other states. We never got a Florida orange when we lived in Florida. I can't get a Georgia peach here. They come from South Carolina or another state, so it's being transported. And sometimes an apple, like apple season is in the fall. for us around here, but we can still get apples right now. Well, where are they getting them from? It's either being transported from a far distance or they've been in cold storage, sometimes for up to 6 months. So as soon as you pick the produce, it stops ripening. It just stops and then it starts rotting. It's almost like when you're pregnant, right? Like you want to go full term because that is when the baby is fully developed, organs, everything is fully developed. It's the same thing with produce. We want to leave it on the vine or, in the ground or on the bush, whatever it is, until it is actually done ripening. But if we did that, it would get to the grocery store rotten. So they pick it way before it's developed. You see bananas that are super green. Anyway, and 90% of Americans don't eat enough servings, and we don't get a variety from the rainbow. I know that's so true with my kids. I can get them to eat certain fruits and vegetables, but guess what? It's the same ones every day. It's apples, it's carrots, and so they're not going to eat beets, and they're not eating kale, and they're not eating Swiss chard. So it just makes it even more difficult. So let's talk about a multivitamin versus food. I was just on the phone with somebody and saying that, we've grown up hearing about multivitamins on the TV and hearing our doctors say, we'll take a multivitamin because we know we're not eating enough. We know we're not eating correctly. When I talk to people, I say, why do you take a multivitamin? And people will actually look confused and they're like, well, I don't know, but I know I'm not eating right. And so they don't even know what to look for in a vitamin. And so it's interesting because if you look at the picture of the supplement facts, which is on a vitamin, there's maybe, I've never even counted this, at best, you're probably looking at 15 or 20 different ingredients. And you've got isolated synthetic ingredients like vitamin C and selenium and, magnesium, but it's not the vitamin C coming from the orange. They're making it in a lab. If you look at the little tiny script, I'm sure you can't even read that. I know I can't. And that's one of 25 pages of what's in an apple, which isn't that fascinating. So scientists have only found and recognized 13 different vitamins. The rest of some of them are, flavonoids and they're minerals and different phytochemicals. But the vitamin C really doesn't work in your body isolated. It needs the orange. It works like a symphony in your body. It needs all of the ingredients. The vitamin C needs all of the ingredients that come from the orange to be able to work in your body. So 70% of Americans are trying to fill the gap with a multivitamin. They're isolated, it's synthetic. An apple has 10,000 phytonutrients. Broccoli has 13, a tomato has about 10,000. And research actually shows that isolated vitamins may do more harm than good. There's actually a research study showing that. And they had to stop the research study because of that, which was really interesting and scary. So one simple change. So my story is I'm 53 and I was adopted. I was actually adopted when I was, I think 6 weeks. My birth mother had allergies and asthma and all kinds of health issues. And my mom was a nurse. So as a medical professional, she was taught treatment. So when I started having symptoms of allergies and asthma, I had the best treatment. I was on allergy shots. I was on allergy medication. I was on asthma medication, but I had migraines. I had digestive issues. I was on antibiotics all the time because I had ear infections. I mean, I just had a rough, unhealthy childhood. I also wasn't eating right. I grew up in the 70s when processed food came out. So I'm sure my mom was like, oh, thank God I don't have to cook as much anymore. She did, lunch and dinner for us, but breakfast, she would give us a bowl of cereal or I would eat a Pop-Tart. And so it was a lot of processed foods and I drank soda and, I don't think anybody really knew the connection back then. So we do know the connection now. Anyway, fast forward to when let me state one important fact. I was told by every doctor I ever saw that this was genetic because my biological mother had allergies and asthma and there was nothing I could do. So that is really disheartening when you think there's nothing I can do. So why are you going to try any harder? You're not going to eat any better. You're not going to do anything because it doesn't matter. So I'm on all this medication until I get pregnant with my son till 35 years old. So probably for 30 years I suffered and it was not fun. And my best friend introduced me to Juice Plus. I started taking it. By the end of the pregnancy, I realized that I was not symptomatic of the allergies and the asthma and any of that. And it has been in May, it'll be 18 years since I have been on any medication, including antibiotics. I'm so grateful that I don't get the ear infections. I don't have them. You know, I've had pneumonia before. I've had, oh my gosh, just so many different health issues. And it's not that we don't get sick. I'll get a cold, but now I know how to get better faster between eating more Juice Plus and also, you know, not eating sugar and eating healthier. So it really has just been such a mom win for me too, because one of the biggest things I was afraid of with having kids is I was going to pass along, because my belief was the allergies and asthma were genetic, that I was going to pass this along to my children. And I'm so grateful that they do not suffer from allergies, asthma. They don't have, you know, the migraines, the digestive issues. So that's been such a blessing. So hopefully while I was speaking, you looked at this picture and imagine your body getting nutrition from 30 different fruits, vegetables, and grains every single day. Remember, most of us, even if we were eating the 9 servings for women of fruits and vegetables every single day, imagine getting that rainbow and how much our body would appreciate that. All right, we go to the next one. So Juice Plus, what is it? Juice Plus is fruits and vegetables. It is nutrition from over 30 different fruits and vegetables and berries in your diet. We also have an omega that we'll talk about. It's whole food nutrition as opposed to a vitamin. It's harvested at the peak of ripeness. So what we do is we have our own farmers, and when the produce is ripe, they actually go out and they pick the ripened produce. So it has as much nutrition as it can possibly have. Within 24 hours, it is juiced and dried at a low temperature. And then the powders, it's put into powder form, put into powders, and then put into the capsules and the gummies. So it has, you know, it has way more nutrition than our produce does. So the produce is pulverized. I've kind of explained that. The plant powders put into capsules and chewables are like little gummies for kids. And then the omega we'll talk about as well, because I just love that omega. So I'm sure everybody has heard omega-3 fish oil. You need to take a fish oil. So our brain is 60% fat. And a lot of us are getting enough fat, but it's the wrong kind of fat. I mean, I know for myself today, even I had some, I forget what they're called, jalapeno. I had chips and I thought, oh, these are fattening, but it's not even the right kind of fat. But it's okay sometimes to do that. But we want to make sure that our body is getting the right kind of fat. And one of the easiest ways we found instead of a fish oil is through our plant-based omega. And it is an omega blend. And we say that because it is not just omega-3, it is omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And it comes from the ingredients that you see on there. We actually have our own algae farm. And so what you're not seeing is fish. So fish do not have omega-3s. They do not have naturally occurring omega-3s in their bodies. Fish do not contain omega-3s. It's because of the food they're eating. They're eating the algae in the ocean, and that's what's giving them the omega-3s. So we're killing the poor fish for these omegas when we don't really need to. So I love that our company is saving the fish and also getting us healthier through the algae oil and all the other different omegas. So it's plant-based, it's sustainable, full spectrum omegas, cold pressed, and it's vegan. And you know, you can see the benefits from omegas on the screen. So the Juice Plus Complete, oh my goodness, Monique, I can't wait for you to get your complete, because I just love these shakes. I had chocolate and peanut butter. I'm not gonna lie, I don't do a lot of different variety. Chocolate and peanut butter is my favorite because Reese's Cups are my favorite. And that's kind of a great way for me to trick my brain when I'm having a sweet tooth, is to be able to have a healthy shake. So I tell people, look at these ingredients: broccoli sprouts, radish sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, and you know, amaranth and pea protein and rice protein and mushrooms. Imagine just putting all of that into a blender and drinking it and going, this is delicious. I don't know how the company did it, but they did. And not only is it delicious, but it is probably, it's got to be the healthiest shake on the market. It's vegan, it's non-genetically modified ingredients, it's gluten-free, dairy-free, it's got protein. It can be used as a meal replacement because it has protein, it has fiber, it has healthy fats, it has the carbs, it has everything that you need for a meal. So this is your macronutrition. The Juice Plus, what we talked before, is your micronutrition. It's all the thousands of phytochemicals in the produce. This is your macronutrition because it's giving you all the, you know, the energy from the food, the protein and the carbs and everything. And then this does have soy. It has water washed, organic, non-genetically modified soy. And there's some controversy about that. And if anybody on here has questions about soy, we have so many resources about that, but it depends on the kind of soy you take. There's a lot of really bad soy. Soy and corn are the two most genetically modified foods on the planet. So that's why I think soy got a bad rep. But if you think of all the Asians who eat, I mean, they eat so much soy every single day, but it's the right kind of soy. It's the tofu, it's the tempeh, and that's what the soy is in our shakes. So let's talk about a different shake, the Perform. The Perform is for people who are either plant-based and maybe they want more plant-based protein, because this is a shake as opposed to the Complete, which is 13 grams of plant-based protein. This is 25 grams of plant-based protein, but it doesn't have the fiber the other one does. It doesn't have the same profile the other one does, because this one is really for refueling after a workout. It has beetroot and tart cherry, and it has mushrooms, and it's got the B vitamins in there. So it's for muscle growth, muscle recovery. It's for performance. It's for energy. It's for bone health, and it's also for mental performance. So it gives you so many different benefits from this. And so after I work out, I will actually just go shake up some of this in some water and drink it. So it's a different shake than the other one. This is not a meal replacement. It, again, doesn't have the fiber, it doesn't have the fat, it doesn't have the macronutrition to make it a meal replacement shake. So let's talk about, again, a little bit about why Juice Plus is different than multivitamins, because it's a food. So we have a food label. I always think I'm going to bring the Juice Plus bottles and show you guys. It actually has a food label. It has a nutrition label, not a supplement label. It's made with non-genetically modified ingredients. It's vegan, kosher, dairy, and gluten-free. It's NSF certified. NSF is a National Sanitation Foundation, and that is a third-party company that we actually pay for them to come in and to check the powders. So picture almost, and I've never been there, let's say that there's 10 different vats of all the powders of the Juice Plus. They come in and they will pick, they come in randomly. They don't even tell us when they're going to come in, and they will test the powders to make sure they're safe for human consumption. It doesn't have herbicides and pesticides and mold and mildew and all the different things. We also have NSF for sports certified. So an Olympian can take this with the, knowing that it's safe. They know that there's nothing in there that is going to be tested when they're tested, professional athlete. So I think they test for something like 136 different ingredients, and ours passes, which is fantastic. It is also, which is really the most important, it's the most researched whole food nutritional product in the world. And we're going to go, and it has 44 clinical research studies, not 35. That slide should be updated. So hopefully you're not eating everything that's on the left, but we're not perfect. I'm not perfect, right? I don't want to never eat a brownie again or not have pizza again. But Juice Plus helps us bridge the gap between what we're eating every single day and what we should be eating every single day. So let's look a little bit about the research. We have the gold standard research. It's randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled. It's tested on the product and in humans. So it's not borrowed research like, oh, vitamin C helps with the immune system and our product has vitamin C, so our product helps with the immune system. No, it's our product being tested on humans at these universities. And some of these universities are, no doubt impressive. Between University of Florida, I love the MD Anderson of University of Texas. We actually did research with ovarian cancer survivors and Juice Plus and the shakes. So it's pretty impressive. Here's a little bit of a summary of some of the 44 studies that we've done. We have Juice Plus helps improve cardiovascular wellness. It reduces systemic inflammation. The supports quality of life was actually the MD Anderson cancer study. Supports healthy cholesterol, LDL, and triglyceride. Supports healthy lung function. That was with smokers. We have skincare research. We have periodontal research. We have 6 studies showing it helps to support a healthy immune system. It protects your DNA. If you can have strong, healthy DNA that's replicating, and it's replicating strong, healthy DNA, you're going to be healthy. If you have unhealthy DNA replicating, think about that. Now you have even more unhealthy DNA. It reduces oxidative stress, and it's being absorbed, which is awesome. I'm sure that you guys have heard the joke about how, you purchase a vitamin and a lot of times we're just peeing it out because your body isn't absorbing it. One of my favorite statements was by Dr. Richard Du Bois. There is nothing else available any place in the world with or without a prescription that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has proven to do. So most pharmaceuticals out there maybe have a couple of research studies, and we have 44, and it's fruits and vegetables. Okay, we also have a children's health study, a family health study plan, where if an adult signs up for Juice Plus, you can sponsor a child ages 4 through 18 and also undergrad college, and they can get Juice Plus free for up to 4 years. And look at some of the results that they're getting. One of my favorites is, especially with kids, 61% are eating more fruits and vegetables. They're getting sick less often. So if you're a working parent, you're not missing school, you're not missing work, they're not missing school. So there's so many benefits for your kids being able to get this nutrition. And as a parent, you don't have to choose, oh gosh, I've only got this much money every single month to spend. If your child's within that age, it's like buy one, get one free, which is fantastic for the company to do. Tower Garden, I know you've got questions about the Tower Garden, so we'll finish the recording and I can answer a few more questions afterwards if you've got that. We have 2 different types of Tower Garden. The Tower Garden Flex on the right side is actually the original one, and I think it's been around for 10 years. That's actually my favorite one. I had 2 of them outdoors in Florida in my front yard, in my front landscape for, I guess, the 7 years I was there, because I've been here 3 years. You get to and you can grow produce. They're both small enough. You could even have them indoors. You can have them on a porch. You can have them on a patio. So they're fantastic. You can grow more plants in a small 2.5 foot area, up to 28 plants, and use a lot less water, because what happens is you see the basins at the bottom, the green and the white, they fill up with water. The green one has 20 gallons. The white one has 13. You fill them up with water. There's essentially a fish tank pump at the bottom of that. It plugs in. It pumps the water to the top, and then the water trickles down onto all of the roots. So instead of us just watering, plants outside, and then it goes into the ground, and probably 90% of it goes away. We waste so much water. So 98% less water, 90% less space. This is the future, being able to grow vertically, because we're running out of land. 30% more yield, it grows 3 times faster, and it's safe and nutritious. You have an option now of growing at your house organic produce. You know where it's coming from, the taste is better. It's just an awesome option. And the one on the left is the home. I actually have it in my office right now. You can grow produce all year with the lights inside.
I'm doing a call.
So this is just a little bit about our company. I love our company because we inspire healthy living. We have programs called the Shred 10, which is to help you detox. We have cookbooks. We have fitness videos. We have so many different things to be able to help support you on your health journey, not just the Juice Plus. So let me get out of here and stop sharing and stop the recording.